They watched from above, silent, immense, and distant. Eyes that saw the rise of kingdoms and their fall into ash. The great eagles were not merely birds, not allies, not saviors. They were ancient powers, older than memory, older even than some of the Vala. And they never interfered unless the world teetered on the edge of the abyss. The real question was never why they didn't fly the ring to Mordor, but why they watched and waited while thousands died. From the first age, the eagles have been feared more than loved. Born of Manwë's will, shaped from the thoughts of the Aenir, they were sentinels of the sky, judges of men and elves, loyal to the will of the gods, not the pleas of mortals. When they flew, it wasn't on a breeze. It was on command, and their silence was never due to ignorance. It was by design. In the west, they whispered that Gwaihir the Wind Lord once flew beyond the clouds to speak to something darker than Morgoth. In the east, men had legends of a great eagle that devoured traitors in the night. But no tale was more chilling than what they did in the Second Age, when they abandoned an entire city to burn, watching it collapse beneath Sauron's forces. Their talons could have saved hundreds. Instead, they vanished into storm clouds, their golden eyes reflecting the fire below. Flight was never freedom. For the eagles, it was a curse. They carried with them the burden of ancient laws, unseen by men and unknown even to the wise. The Vala had forbidden them to alter the course of fate. And in Tolkien's world, fate was a heavy chain. Even the mightiest beings were bound to it. When Frodo and the Fellowship began their journey, Gandalf never asked the eagles for direct help. Not because he couldn't, but because he feared what would awaken if they intervened. The skies above Mordor were watched by more than just orcs. Something nameless stirred in the clouds, a watcher with no face, older even than Sauron, bound to the eye's command. The Nazgul flew not just on fell beasts, but on wind twisted by shadow. Legends say that one eagle, Thorondur's heir, once attempted to pierce the skies above Barad-dur alone. It never returned. All that was found was a single feather, blackened and pulsing with a faint heat, buried in a crater of scorched stone. The message was clear. The air above Mordor did not belong to the free. By the Third Age, even the trees whispered that the skies were cursed. The clouds above Mordor never broke. Thunder rolled, but never rained. Lightning flashed, but never struck. Something in the air was wrong, thick, burning, watching. Sauron's eye was not just a symbol. It was a power, projected from the tower like a second sun. It could feel thought, will, purpose. And if an eagle had tried to cross that space with a ring-bearer in tow, they would have been spotted, hunted, and destroyed. Worse still, Sauron might have learned the truth too soon, and bent the ring to his will before Frodo ever reached Mount Doom. Gandalf knew. Gwaihir knew. The Vala knew. But still, they waited. The horror was not that the eagles didn't help. It was that they couldn't, because something was lurking high above Mordor. Something even they feared. When Frodo collapsed on the rocks of Mount Doom, broken and blind, Gwaihir came at last. But he didn't come for the ring. He came for the aftermath. The skies had cracked open. The eye had fallen. Only then could they fly without doom. And even then they came with hesitation. The rescue wasn't triumph. It was burial. To carry Frodo and Sam away from the fire was to escort them not to safety, but into silence. Their journey had touched a power that the eagles themselves could barely understand. The ring had not only tempted men and wizards, it had tempted the sky itself. The eagles never spoke. They only soared. And the question that haunted Middle-earth for ages wasn't, why didn't they fly Frodo to Mordor? It was, what did they see that made them stay away?